Previously on Poetically Mused.
Outside is the storm. I can't speak for others, but for me it ain't a bad thing. Matter of fact, I love playing in the rain.
I just call her the Muse, and she definitely will touch you with her wonderful and beautiful way of expressing her light.
My Mystic Diary, your haven for spiritually symbolic reading. This is the Wind Song Crawl of Oracles. Welcome.
Pataki. Own mi e bibi oduneg bawa merin. I was denied the theater internship I wanted at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville as I was entering my junior year at Alta Vista Plantation turned Prairie View A&M University. 3 months of idle time in Border City, Texas wasn't an option, so I decided to take some basic courses, some requisites, during the summer while the campus was quieter. Referred by a fellow student, Sister DJ, I wandered into the Hilliard Hall suite of Prairie View A&M University, eager for something constructive to do with my spare time. Oh, they gave me something to do all right. I started out in the music vault, arranging CDs in the music library in alphabetical order. Little did I know that I was completing the first of tasks of a decade-long radio journey. One day while the bosses were having lunch, and they were asking the particulars, what's your major, where you're from? And as I was speaking, the secretary says, you have a very nice voice. I said, why, thank you. And that led to me becoming a voice talent for underwriters, production, scriptwriter, all the while training to go on the air. On the day I took flight, KPVU was in a frenzy. I waited patiently in the master control room with my pen and pad poised right, watching as everybody hustled and bustled about trying to fix this system malfunction that wiped out over 10,000 songs from the music system. My trainer for the day came into the master control room, and I mean it was laid. Beautiful. Dark gray carpets on the walls and floor, a lovely fuchsia backdrop filled with old school records and CDs. The switchboard was a 3-tier on a 3-sided counter, with the phones to the left hand and the CD players to the right. I thought to myself, y'all can't leave me in here with all this old music, that's dangerous. But I digress from my point. My trainer came into the master control room with a crate of CDs, plugged in the headphones, set the timer, and after a little bit of wobbling, Ivory T, the smooth operator, was born.
Hi, this is Yolanda Adams, and you're chilling in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T on KPVU 91.3, the original sound in public radio.
Good morning, Prairie View, Houston's surrounding areas, and those of you who are tuning in from the internet.
All right, well, I'm here. Are you there? Good. We are now meeting in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T. As always, KPVU 91.3. This is your boy, Cat Williams.
Another proud supporter of KPVU programming is the 17th Annual Houston International Jazz Festival.
Yeah, I'm laying low with Ivory T in the Bamboo Lounge. This is Andre 3000, one half of Outkast. We love y'all. Thank you very much.
Supporting KPVU's programming, La Bella Vita Incorporated presents the Labor Day Classic Concert.
Yo, what it do, man? It's your boy Flipper, man. Right now, I'm inside the Bamboo Lounge with sexy Ivory T. And I mean sexy. Already.
Another proud supporter of KPVU programming is the Houston Arena Theater.
Hey, this is Marcus Johnson, and you're listening to Ivory T and the Bamboo Lounge on KPVU FM 91.3.
Another proud supporter of KPVU programming is the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Hi, this is Felton Pilot, and you're here with me inside the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
This is Ivory T, the smooth operator, your host with the most, and you're listening to the Bamboo Lounge Workdays on KPVU FM 91.3, the original sound in public radio. Sending love and light to the KPVU staff of 2004 through 2010. You know who you are. I suppose the spiritual powers that be decided that my tenure there was up, and my very last show there was Already Mokanla Odunik Bawa Mewa, due to a car crash that literally turned my world upside down. I still took to the airwaves from the World Wide Web.
Listener discretion is strongly advised. Live from Houston, Texas, this is Sex, Love, and Lyrics. And here's your host, Ivory Lorraine.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, listeners of ArtistFirst.com. That part of my radio journey was fun while it lasted, but following that time was 3 years of dead air. I suppose the powers that be had to clear up some other static, and I'd been working in my purpose ever since, even finding myself on the interview side of the radio microphone.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is Aislinn again. Wow, that was very odd. I have not had that happen before. It is a very exciting night tonight, and maybe part of that buzzy enthusiasm, excitement is what's jangling in the air. We are introducing tonight, we are meeting tonight, Psychic Contacts reader Jasper Muse, and oh my gosh, she is awesome. And really exciting, she is actually also going to be hosting a radio show. So, Jasper Muse, hello.
How are you tonight? Thank you for having me.
Oh,
I think the glitches make each show authentic, but I do hear what you're saying.
A hearty soup for the soul. You're having some copper pot gumbo with Jasper Muse on Blog Talk Radio. You're inside Oak Bowls Planetarium with Indigo Judah Muse on Blog Talk Radio. Then the winds began to whisper my radio memories. Station IDs, jingles, liners, promos, riots, mail, FCC, production, underwriting, script writing, plug-ins, music programming, interviews, on the air, music, studio. Why not this time divine and mystically aligned do I work both sides of the microphone and broadcast it live from my very own web? And I wondered why Spirit unplugged me for so long. Until now. Mic check 1 2. Is it still on? Is it still on? Is this thing still working? Mic check test 1 2. Sun rays and or moonbeams. I am Ayansa, your lyrical Izangoma, divinatory, literary, visual, and performing artist, and it is my blessed privilege to present to you your mystic haven on the airwaves. 379.5 The Harp. A radio station for the mystically inclined and all seeking to learn. So come and share timeless tunes, indie music, interviews, spoken word, and mystic talk, simmered in my very own cosmic funk. 379.5 The Harp, your mystic haven on the airwaves. See you there. Ashe.
Wow, amazing. You are phenomenal phenomenology and magnificence, and you have archived and showcased that greatness. So I want to salute you and say thank you for enabling us all to this greatness.
Thank you. But before we go any further, I think my microphone was muted in the very beginning and I was talking, so I need to go back and let's pour libations for our ancestors.
I should.
Learn a lesson. And ancestors will turn off your mic if you don't acknowledge them.
And gotta respect the ancestors. It's important.
First, let's take a collective moment of silence for all who joined the ancestors during the storm and all who have lost someone in the pandemic. Let's just take a collective moment of silence. Ashe. We pour a collective libation as we collectively send love and light to their families. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Libations to the ancestors of my direct lineage, especially to the memory of my father, Samuel Stanley Townsend Sr., Ashe. And anyone out there listening, meditate and call the names of your ancestors. Ashe. 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 Ashe to our ancestral warriors, community leaders, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Scott Heron, Dr. Sebi. Those who contributed through the arts.
Ashe.
Maya Angelou, Ashe. Cicely Tyson, Ashe. Our community ancestors, Ayana Ade, Ashe. Ashe. Mother Denver, Ashe. 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 Baba Shango, Ashe. Ashe. And I pour a special libation to all of the ancestors who took on the particular craft in radio and left the wisdom behind for someone like me to pick up. I say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh,
beautiful.
Whew, I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I am.
It's exciting because what you're doing is exciting, and it's trailblazing, and it's creating a pathway for the ancestors to not only please, but for their voices to leave an indelible mark upon those who are still in the land of the living. And it's kind of befitting that we're talking about the ancestors as I hear my echo, because the ancestors have spoken to us, and we are their echo. Right? So we're living, right, through the directions that they've been given, through the examples that they've lived through, right? So that nervous energy is really just the spirit.
Yes.
Letting you know that what you are doing is marvelous, and it's powerful, and it's going to fulfill the dreams of our ancestors. That's what I've heard youngsters say nowadays. They put on shirts and they make it a movement. Is that I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
And if you take a moment to reflect upon that and think on that and say, wow, our ancestors dreamed of us.
Yes.
We went through things for us, knowing that we would see the benefits of it. We would be able to taste of the fruits of their labor.
Absolutely.
So that excitement that you call nervous, that I want to dispel, because that's what your radio station will do, is to wake us up from the spell, right?
Yes.
And begin to reprogram us so that we can begin to build. And we can strengthen not only our connection to our ancestors, but we can get to the work that works for our ancestors to be truly proud and recognize not only.
And while you're on the journey, you have no idea why it's happening until it's just that defining moment. Excuse me. I live in the inner city. The bikers are doing their thing out there.
It's real, it's organic, and the fact of the matter is, you told me about the crossroad. So it sounds like we're moving from the crossroad, right? And we're going in the right direction.
The motor done started.
It's all good, it's all good. So, this is really a beautiful thing. And it's great that we did do that libation, because that is not only acknowledging an ancient African tradition, but libation is a way of giving. It's giving thanks and giving honor unto those who came before us. But it's also them giving us their wisdom, their protection, the direction, right?
Yes.
And also the ability for us to intertwine in an ability and a capacity, for us to link up and connect, right? So I think that it's important that we recognize that we've already started on the right track. You gave us the history. I heard Andre 3000 in there, I heard your step in there, I heard your love, so
yeah, man. Prairie View was real.
Yeah,
Prairie View was real.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Prairie View, I'm sorry. I have one other libation to pour, and that's for Dr. C. Lee Turner, who was my theater professor. He put his spirit, he put everything he had into theater, and as a result, he left behind an entire lineage of people who have understandings about theater, life, and theater being life. Charles Gilpin Players. All thanks to C. Lee Turner. We pour him a special libation from the crystal glass. Ashe. 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 I'm sorry. Proceed.
Good. I mean, that has to be recognized and has to be acknowledged because the knowledge and the information that he shared is living on for you. And I know that he is extremely proud, and I know that there will be numerous others who will be inspired by his work through you.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of libation, and that's why it's so important that this experience and this situation flourishes, and we have to support it not only with our listeners, but also with our donations and knowledge donation as well, because you got to practice the preach. But I think it's important that we reach the people with this kind of experience, because that's the difference. This is not just playing music and hearing interviews. Now, this is news you can use. You know what I'm saying? This is flavor you can savor. You're going to have to tell your neighbor, you know what I mean? And you're going to elevate from this conversation. And you're going to elevate from the vibrations of music. And that's why this is not just a station. This is a movement.
Yes.
And it's a movement that's been moving for a very long time.
And what makes it so amazing is that when you're doing it then, and you know it's out of the plan. I did not go to Prairie View planning to become a radio personality.
Right.
That wasn't in the plan. I was there on an Army ROTC scholarship, an academic. And as the video said, I got denied an internship at Fayetteville, stayed and took some summer courses, had to find something creative to do. And so Mel B, who was a campus student DJ at the time, she told me to go up there about interning. So I'm arranging CDs in the music library in alphabetical order. And it's like when I go back to that moment to here and now, it's just like,
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And
spirit at work.
Yes,
and all I did was allow myself to be guided. That was all I did.
Open vessel, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I would always have this thing. Yes, I was always like, God, whether it's in the name of Jesus, because of course I was a Christian before I made my conversion to Ifa Orisha. But either way, it was always like, God is smarter than me, so why am I trying to figure out his plan? Let me just see what this is all about.
Right. Beautiful. What have you learned from this experience? And what brings you to this moment right here, right now, knowing that this is what you should be doing?
Well, music has always been natural to me. Music has always played a very huge role in my life. Everyone who is anyone that knows me, even back for Prairie View, before we had music playing on our phones, we had the little portable CD players.
Right.
I'm plugged in, trucking. You know? Music did a lot for my spirit, even as a child. You know? One of my favorite pastimes is Aretha Franklin got me laughed at when I was in elementary school, when we all had to stay after class for talking too much. And, you know, the other girls were singing in Vogue, hold on to your love. You know, they getting it. But I'm over there like, chain, chain, chain. And I'm a child. So teacher's like, come here. You know? But there was a different sound coming out of every room in my house. My parents had more of the Motown sound. You know, your Temps, your Marvin Gayes, your Smokey Robinsons, your Curtis Mayfields. That was coming out of that room. And then, depending on whatever the day or week it was, my sister was either playing hip-hop or she was playing alternative rock. I have my sister to thank for my love for Soundgarden and Guns N' Roses. That was all my sister. So I have her to thank for that. It was between that and hip-hop. You know, then my oldest brother had a lot of the jazz and the old school hip-hop and all the rare stuff you gotta dig up on the internet to find it, because it's like he would have all the rare stuff, you know. Yeah. All the uncut, all the vault stuff, you know. And so these sounds were marinating in my life since I was a child, to where I would always sing songs like, I just saw a Facebook post the other day. Somebody said, what songs did you get in trouble for singing when you was a little kid because you didn't really know what it meant? I was like, Curtis Mayfield, Pusha Man, Rick James, Mary Jane. I didn't know he wasn't talking about his girlfriend. Little Red Corvette. I did not know Prince was not talking about a car. I just knew that it jammed. But then when I started learning more about our essence as a people, we were always a musical people. We didn't have radios back in the bush. We had drummers that played all day. We had people who sang all day. We gave messages through music. We grieved through music. We triumphed and celebrated through music. When our people were enslaved and brought here, a lot of the things that kept their spirits up to give them the strength to go on was music. That's how you get the Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. That's how you get Wade in the Water. Those are codes, you know, messages. Very strong spiritual medium music is. And because our people have spread and there are masters in every genre, that's something that I feel the world needs now, is to reattune to the music. Because I'm going to tell you now, you're going to hear a lot of old school on my station. Most of the music was produced before I was born, because it had a certain essence, you know. You think of studio bands like the Funk Brothers, you know, things like Marvin Gaye, Mercy, Mercy Me. These are our spiritual anthems, you know, and it's time to put them together and share it. And then I also wanted to add my mystic element to it, you know, to bring more of the spiritual aspect out of it. That way I can do as much teaching as possible, so maybe I don't have to do so many readings. So that's how you get that all-encompassing.
Gotcha. How will people be able to tap into it? What will the format be? Or is that still in preparation?
Actually, it currently has 9 portals where you can tune in. I have 7 blogs, one for each day of the week. There's a player on each of those. I have a bonus blog called Ancestor Legacies. There's a player on it. www.poeticallymuse.org/mothership. There's a player there, as well as the schedule. Now, you'll see a lot of this being updated because of the storm, so I didn't get to finish everything. But this is where it's vulnerable for me, because you all get to watch it grow.
Oh, wow.
You get to watch it grow.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And last but not least, you can get it on the app Google Play.
Okay.
It has its own Google Play app. iPhone people, I haven't forgotten about you, but I'm an Android girl, so we're going to work that out, okay? I love all my iPhone people.
Well, they can check it out on the website, right?
Yes, but they can get it on the website or any one of my blogs.
Cool.
And there will be more on that later, the blogs.
Right.
On those.
What do you want people to get out of listening to this? Because it's funny, I was just in preparation for this conversation, I was listening to people talk about radio being dead. And in our culture, things don't die. They just transition. You know, so it's life after life. So I thought about in this culture, people are saying that radio is dead, then we need to awaken them to the reality of the ways in which we look at the world and the consciousness we have, and let them know that it's not dead. It just needs a reawakening, right? It needs a resurrection, so to speak, so that it becomes relevant and real to people, to where they can connect with it and they can find some semblance of value, and it adds value to them. So I know that that's what your programs are all about. Been watching your material, your content for a very long time. Extremely impressive. Got to salute you for it and on it. And because of it, I think a lot of people will get an enormous amount of value. I just want you to explain and explicate to those who tap in and listen what you have planned for them.
Well, the station runs on 24 hours. So you will be able to get sleep meditation, guided meditations, affirmations, stories of our ancestors. There's even a space open where I'm developing rotations where independent musicians that have a message and have some good music and something to say and just want to have it in regular rotation. I want to have that open. Also discussing literature and, oh yes, not to forget poetry. Poetry.
Oh,
A
yeah,
lot of it. A lot of poetry. And yes, there is going to be a quiet storm, love session, generation creation type of segment. Hey, we grown.
Hey, we need it.
And you know, I think it's important because now that we're in this age of mass awakening, you're going to go back and rehear everything differently. And in between those segments, I'll be doing mystic teachings on as well, like talking about things like dream interpretation, you know, planetary alignment, things like that. Because
why do you say everybody's going to hear things differently? Break that down. When you say people are going to hear things.
Say that again?
Why do you think that people are going to hear things differently now? That's what you said.
Because when your spirit is awakened, everything shifts naturally. I mean, a shift is exactly what it is. It's a shift. Think of it in terms of an earthquake. When those plates shift, they just find a more settled place, but they don't go back to where they were. See what I mean?
Gotcha.
So when people are shifting, you will never go back to the way you were. We were born to evolve. But through music, you'll hear it differently, but you still appreciate it the same. In the world we live in now, who says people don't appreciate love music more? I can't speak for other people, but I do. I have a lot more appreciation for music that talked about love and harmony. When you're living in a world of self-destruction right now. You see what I'm saying? People need to remember love and peace and harmony, and especially alignment with the planet, because right about now, Mother Nature is giving us the warning that we are not incapable of becoming dinosaurs. And that's a statement for humanity, all the way across the board. From the whitest to the darkest, from the Pope down to the vagabond. So, in restoring love and alignment, and keeping it in a constant rotation. I want that in place for as many people as possible to tune into it, to be a part of it, to get what they need out of it. Mm-hmm. Because songs can heal. Yeah. Sound healing, sound vibration frequency is real. And it doesn't always have to be the measured specific hertz. I mean, case in point, who's been to church or been anywhere where a woman would just get up and sing, she hits a certain note and you break down and cry? All the way on the other side of the spectrum. It's not a lot of fun when you're at a club having a good time and then one certain song plays and everybody's fighting. Music has always stimulated frequency. And I just want to, send out a healing one.
That's beautiful.
And it's for anyone who wants to reach for it. That's why I'm not really feeling running radio campaigns. I'm not really feeling running fund drives. I do have something available where people want to donate, but the point is to have it available for anyone with a phone that needs it. That can just push the app button, and there it is.
Wow. You're talking about doing something that is really healing and therapeutic, cathartic, and all of those words that are synonymous with wholeness. And as you mentioned, as we are going through some tumultuous times, I think that we definitely need something like this. Mm-hmm. And also, what can people do in terms of those who might have a podcast, might have a program? Are you looking for content and you have all of those things already in line and locked in?
Oh, the schedule is subject to change. This is a preliminary schedule. The schedule is subject to change. As a matter of fact, currently, my oldest brother has a DJ slot called The Fusion. So everyone will get to hear where I got some of my radio chops from. You see what I'm saying? I'm still going to try to beat him though, but I'm still going to try to get him. I'm going to try to get him. I can't promise I'm going to win, but I'm going to try to get him. I'm going to try to get him. So from 4 to 6 p.m., my oldest brother will actually be taking the 1s and 2s in his show called The Fusion. So everyone gets to hear where I got some of, where I learned some of my music knowledge. Right. And there's also another show coming up, but that's to be announced. Y'all have to pay attention to social media for that. Okay. But right now, the schedule is tentative. It's subject to change. This is just how I'm running the rotation now. But we all know accesses do change.
Absolutely. So, people can reach out to you. They can make suggestions. They can inbox you for, particular programs that they like to see or maybe like to produce.
Say that one more time.
I was saying, people can reach out to you. You're accessible so that they can pitch ideas to you and maybe create some programming up.
I'll take all things into consideration, but it does have to stick with a specific theme.
Facts.
It does have to stick with a specific thing. So This will be an exercise for me in creating balance between, taking in constructive feedback and putting too many spoons in the soup.
Right. And because you mentioned that, I did want to ask this question. If somebody was to dwindle down this platform
into what?
It's the echo.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I try to talk a little bit slower. If someone was to dwindle this down, this particular platform, into one sentence or a group of adjectives, if you will, what would you want them to say? And how would you want them to feel after experiencing, hearing that sentence or those groups of adjectives?
That's good. That's good. That was a good one. Innovative, stimulated, stimulated, empowered, happy, and natural.
So you said innovated and stimulated. I'm gonna say those two first because I remember. And
innovated, stimulated, aligned,
helpful,
empowered. I'm adding other words.
Yeah,
empowered,
it's all good.
Yes, empowered, happy, and natural.
Natural.
And the happy and natural, especially the happy part, that's very important because energetically, look, life is designed to be nuts. Maybe we didn't imagine this crazy, but when you keep a positive spirit, you keep a positive endorphin in your body. Because we all know, everybody keeps saying, stress is the precursor to all fatal illness. Period. That's a period, not a comma. So when you lift that stress and stay in a happy vibration, it may not change the challenges that come in life, but it does change. It may change the way that you handle it.
Right.
It changes. And this is something that I have applied to my life. When I was in the wrong energy, I attracted a lot of the wrong stuff. Mm-hmm. When I was in the right energy, or should I say, a higher vibration, a mind over matter type of thing, things just somehow work themselves out in the midst of all the craziness. And it was a lot of the music that I'm playing on the station that got me through a lot of very hard times.
Right.
So the natural and happy, and I like the natural part because, we're returning to our roots, but in uncovering, it's still a journey into the unknown. So I wanted to create a balance so that people I don't listen to anything that isn't a megahertz frequency. Oh, please. Marvin Gaye been singing them frequencies for years. They just didn't call it that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I want them to feel those same healing frequencies and all of this stuff we're talking about. Feel it in the music and know that our elders and our ancestors were saying it all along. They just didn't say it in a knowledge, informational way. They said it because it was natural. They sang it because it was natural. They didn't have Google. They just had what they knew inside.
Right.
Going
to, I think something that naturally correlates to what you just said, being natural. Mm-hmm. Talk about the importance of 222. Yeah.
You caught that. Okay. The number 222, which is why we're actually having this show tonight, February 22nd. And by the way, this will be every year. The celebration will be on 222. So, just so we know. Actually, that number came to me in a vision/dream because, as you can see, oh my God, ancestors are just telling all my business. So that video that y'all saw was actually the wrong edit. That was the wrong edit. That's why y'all saw 379.5 the heart. That was a concept that was supposed to be a collective, but that didn't work out, and we're just going to leave that at that.
Gotcha.
And 222.9 came to me actually in a vision. Because 222 in my work as I do work as a professional oracle counselor. I tend to shy away from the word psychic, but that's what I do. Whatever.
It is what it is.
Whatever. I call it messenger. I'm a mail lady. There it is. I'm a mystic mail lady. That works. So I get a lot of people that contact me about seeing double, triple numbers because numerology is one of my areas of expertise. And so 222 is actually a triple of the divine feminine energy. It is an homage to the three female mothers in African spirituality. It's 3 twos that give homage to Eshu because Eshu's number is 3. And just 2 is the number of the divine feminine force. So if I could guess, I would say that came to me because, as I was saying last year, I had a video called "The Plague, the Planets, and the Prophecy," and in that video I stated Mother Earth is trying to get our attention. Rise of the divine feminine, balance in masculine and female energy. That's where the 222 came from. Gotcha. I listened first. It came to me, in a vision, and I marinated on it, and all of those reasons came to me. The 0.9 is just the extra dose of Oya energy. As I am, I'm a child of Oya, and 9 is her number. 9 are the 2 numbers that add up to my date of birth, August 1st, 819. So you get 222.9 The Mothership.
So that's amazing. We know 9 is the largest number that doesn't repeat. Exactly. So this thing is going to be big, and definitely going to garner, glean, and gain a lot of attention and raise the frequency of so many to a higher dimension and higher level. Next year, when we're having the first year anniversary, what do you think you'll be telling yourself? And
why are you doing this to me?
You knew right now.
Wait, what would I be telling myself in the future, or what would my future self be telling me?
Correct. What would your future self be telling yourself right now? And what do you hope when you look back at this video? What will you tell your future self? Or your future self, and thank you for telling you.
More than anything, good job on keeping the faith. Because I wear it well, but it's been a long road. It's been a long road. Mountains, valleys, freezing water, burning flame, frying pans, boiling pots. I mean, good Lord have mercy. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. So I would say to me a year from now, good job on keeping the faith. Because there were many nights I paced around. Am I really about to do this? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
When something is on your spirit to where it doesn't let you sleep at night. And it's like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm losing my... Okay, let me just obey. Let me just obey and see what happens. Because there were times where I thought that I would never touch radio again, let alone launch a station. Those moments happened. There were moments where I didn't believe in anything anymore. So to do this out of love for my craft and out of faith and out of spirit, finally confirming that I didn't lose my mind when I gave up my Army scholarship to pursue theater and mass communications, all because my spirit pulled me that direction. This is a moment of confirmation from spirit more than anything. So I would thank me for having the faith. And I hope that everyone listening, if there's something on your heart that you need to do, if it's something that's not letting you sleep at night, just do it. The universe will amaze you. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Don't be hard-headed like I was, because I got some knots under these dreads. I'm telling you. Just do it.
Wow. Choose to do it.
Just do it.
And definitely, I feel like you are listening and heeding the wise instructions of the divine forces that are working together. And I'm just happy to be a witness and also to take witness of your ascension and helping others as well find their way. So I definitely think that this is a beautiful moment, and I'm happy that in some ways, some shape, some form, we're all able to take notice of your greatness. I do want to ask this something.
I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
Because you too are a radio host. So I want to know about your journey in the radio.
You know,
Gotcha.
I don't have, an interesting story, which is more or less in college when I was at Grambling State or Texas Southern University. I thought to both institutions were tight. I always gravitated to the stage or gravitated to a mic. In some way, some sense, some form. So I always built relationships with people who were either in front of the mic or, rocking the mic in front of a crowd. And in some way, some shape, some form, it found me. So that I was given an opportunity to be a part of a great program called Self-Determination in, I guess, around 2013. And I just came to volunteer, get in and hopefully get into something that would be, pretty cool to do for a few moments. But we forged something that 8 years later is still going. We've done almost 500 episodes. And, we do a little Facebook show that is seen all around the world now. And it's a beautiful thing. But the thing that I always focus on is doing the work. And if you do the work, things will work out. And I think that the most beautiful thing about the work is as challenging and difficult, encompassing as it is, it's rewarding. Mm-hmm. And the reward is what you become once you get to the other side. So I know that, this year, it's going to be a challenge. Yes. It's going to test you in ways in which, my words can never convey. But if you display resolve and you fight through the fight, and you make it to the other side, wow, there will be a power. There'll be a glow. You remember that movie with the soul glow, huh?
Yes.
Your soul is going to glow in a way in which, not only will others see it, and they will feel it, and hopefully that they'll understand where it comes from. But one thing I do know is you'll know where it comes from. And I think that you'll be appreciative of it, thankful for it, grateful, and greater than words can surmise. So I'm just excited and really humbled to be in this position, that my work has worked to put me in this place and to take witness of your ascension and your flight is even greater and even more exciting than anything I've done thus far.
Ashe. And so now we're just taking in this moment, and I'm truly at a loss for words, and that doesn't happen often.
You can't be at a loss for words in radio. You can't have no
in just this moment, I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anybody in the world can push a button and get to my radio station.
Absolutely. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's supposed to be. I think now it's extremely important. I think that this is happening because people are gravitating to other mediums, if you will, We know that there are 570 websites popping up every single minute. 3.8 billion people are using the internet right now as we speak. There are 24 hours of video being uploaded on YouTube every single minute. And we all know how powerful Facebook is. It's almost 2.2 billion users.
Yes.
But the thing is that no one can do what you are doing the way you do it. And, you have only to look at your fingertips and you see how unique and special that you are. And no one will ever have, no one has ever had, and no one has your print, your algorithm on your hand.
Nobody.
So, greatness is in your hand, and you have an extraordinary work at hand to do. And I just think if you follow the ancestors' plans, then everything will work out. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I think that radio is the perfect vehicle to bring the kind of information, the kind of spiritual awareness, the kind of frequency elevation, the kinds of vibes and vibrations that you plan on sending this next 365 days. And if there's ever a time in our season and a season of time in which we've experienced that we need that kind of awakening, that kind of redistribution of information, that kind of celestial light and energy that will cause us to know that we are the ones that are waiting on this single time to wait. We got 86,400 seconds, 1,440 minutes, and so less, and that's why we call it the present. And it truly is a presence to be in your presence, because I know the gifts that you're going to give us are going to enlighten us, going to entertain us, going to move us, going to groove us, going to cause us to say, I want you like Marvin Gaye did in 1976. So it's going down. And people need to be healed. Because, this is going to definitely shake up our world and make our world a better place. And I can't think of anything better than making our world a better place, because we're not here for ourselves. We didn't get here by ourselves. Somebody else has to do something to get us here. And hopefully we make this world better for someone else that is yet to come here. So I think
absolutely, because upon birth, we're born to evolve.
Absolutely.
We are born to evolve. And that's why, hence, the word evil is to live backwards, because you're going against the grain. We're here to evolve our ancestors. And then when we become our ancestors, our descendants evolve us. And it's a cycle that never ends. So everybody has a spiritual responsibility to try to leave the world in a better place than it was when you came. But see, when we got here and we got all in ourselves and our materialisms and our this and our that, we start looking at the planet we live on as an object and not a spirit. And with a straight face, we wonder why she's tearing stuff up out here.
Right. Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, especially when you're dealing with any vibrations of music, vibrations of sound, that's very, very important. It really is. And what drives a message home to me is when I listen to old tunes that apply today. They knew then.
Yeah,
they knew then.
Absolutely.
They just worded it differently.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I put that in there, that it's interweaved with all the knowledge and such, so that our people don't ever think that we've attained enough knowledge to look down on those that came before us.
Absolutely.
We never have enough knowledge to do that.
Yeah, we don't stand on their shoulders to look down upon them. We stand on their shoulders to look up, so the next generation will be higher. And that's going to take, programming like you're providing. That's going to take people listening to the programming and sharing the programming and programming their mind to look for other programs that express that kind of frequency and energy. And that's why, the Communications Act that happened in 1996, signed by Bill Clinton, to deregulate the music industry and to deregulate the radio wave. And that's what happened, which caused the echo is so beautiful. I love hearing my own voice, you know what I'm saying? It's like the ancestors are using me the right way tonight, you know, but the thing is that that's what caused us to be able to go from North Carolina to New York to LA and hear the same music. And be programmed by the same stations, Clear Channel, Radio One, all that madness. And you lost the ability to hear organic, natural, authentic sounds from those areas, from artists who are coming not just to make money, but to speak their soul, to sing their spirit, to be used by the ancestors to lift us up on their shoulders. So when that message got changed to a message of, you got to get yours, I got to get mine, ends and do's and all of this negativity, then you saw a brain of our consciousness, of our ability to organize, of our community leaving the ability to call themselves neighborhoods, and they became hoods. And they became places that were unsafe and unfound for our children. And now our children grow up saying that they're savages, calling themselves young thugs. Right? Back in the days, they were doing it rough. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm saying. They were going in. They were public enemies. They understood how to fight with power.
Exactly.
Now they're using their power against themselves. So what we have to realize is that this is not by accident. This is by design. This is the ancestors in the universe.
And you know, it's funny you just made that reference, because the toughest playlist that I have to choose out of, and I'm still editing that playlist, is my hip hop playlist.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's a lot of profanity and a lot of pain in that music, but there's also a lot of messages.
Absolutely.
So as opposed to, heads up, and I do have audio disclaimers, and I'll do my best on social media to make sure that I'm letting it be known when I'm playing something that may not be suitable for children. I'll make sure I give you the heads up. But sometimes you got to hear a few words to hear a few messages.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll just say this, and I promise I'll be quiet.
No, go ahead.
But the reason why hip-hop is the way hip-hop is it's in the word, hip. You know, without your hip, it's going to be very difficult to move. Right? It's going to be very difficult to sit. It's going to be very difficult to stand. Because your hip is a pivotal part of your body. I don't want to go too deep into the physiology and anatomy. Even though, I have background in that. But your hip is at a pivotal part of the body. It connects the lower and the upper regions of your experience, of your structure, of your body. And without that connection, you won't be able to move. You won't be able to do half of the things that you do. So it's critical to have the hip. And then the hop. The hop is the beat. You mentioned the drum, right? You mentioned how, we use the drum. The drum was our first telephone. It was our first telephone.
Speaking of, you know what I say when I tell people the story of the original hip hop artist?
Enlighten.
Your first hip hop artist was an African warrior who told his stories over a drum.
A griot.
They call him a griot. Mm-hmm. And that's why the most important thing that hip hop artists say, even to this day, give me a beat.
Give me a beat. That's right.
Give me a beat.
And I'll take it up and even further farther degree. This is not to.
Yes.
But
and that's what helped me.
Yes,
and that's what helped me choose. Mm-hmm. A lot of the songs I decided I'm going to play and that I'm not going to play. And some I'm only going to play if I have a story to tell.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because even if you take the albums of hip-hop artists and you put them in chronological order and listen to them straight through, you can hear the story. There's a lot they're saying without saying it. Absolutely. Case in point, Ja Rule, right? Mm-hmm. So he has his song on his first album that wasn't a single, but it's one of my favorite songs on the album. Mm-hmm. And it was called Only Begotten Son. And the hook was, so he so feared the world, he left his only begotten son to shed his blood, show that pain is love. He poured his heart out on that track. But what happens when those kind of cries fall on deaf ears? I got 100 guns, 100 clips. Nigga, I'm from New York. I got a semi-automatic that spits next time. If you talk, whoa, where did he come from?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Trying to get rich. He was trying to get rich, and he was gonna die trying. You know, that was.
But at what point did he decide that getting rich was more important than his soul? That's the route I'm getting to.
Right, and that's due in part to the soul music became control music, and the hip to the hop was about your heartbeat, right? It wasn't about your heartbeat, right?
It was about stirring up those generation creators. But what generation creators are you creating? Because I'll be honest, at some hip hop songs, I'm not offended by it, even though they talk about women. Because some songs are just about celebrating, hey, we were designed that way. But if the message is degrading, that's a whole other story.
Right.
But some songs, I give them a chance.
Right.
James Brown keeps trying to jump in here.
James Brown trying to let us know, you know, he's trying to
get up.
Right, you don't know. He's trying to move the hip. And the thing that I always say to people is that hip hop is not what they try to get us or condition us to understand its disease. Hip hop is soul. Soul is hip hop. R&B is hip hop. Blues is hip hop. We might call it a genre. We might try to make it sectarian, make it tribalism, or say this is hip hop. But good music, if you listen to good music, good music is universal.
Oh, yeah.
You can't define it now.
And you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another reason why I needed my own station.
Boom.
I can't choose between genres. I love all of them. So, yeah, I'm letting y'all know now. Every now and then, I will have a Guns N' Roses moment. I will have a Soundgarden moment. I will have a Pearl Jam and a Kurt Cobain moment. I sure will.
Right. It's good music.
It's
good music.
And I how dare I neglect to mention Mr. Hendrix.
Absolutely.
Mr. Kravitz.
Absolutely. And good music is good music.
Oh yeah, good music is good music. You will hear some Tennessee. You might hear some Tennessee whiskey.
Absolutely.
You know? So yes, it gets to cross borders with genres. And I would like to take this moment also to just overly express and iterate again, just in case some people are just now joining us. If you are an independent musician and you have music in gospel, jazz, poetry, R&B, hip-hop with a positive message, I would like to have your music in rotation as well.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I would love to have your music in rotation as well. Oh, yes. Also, African drumming music. Yes, and African drumming music. I'd like to switch the topic to gospel. Or did you have something else to say about hip-hop music?
No. We good.
Because on Sundays, I will have a gospel music segment. And I know that may raise questions because I am initiated into African spirituality, but Christianity was my conversion. So that may raise some questions as to why are you a priest in African spirituality, but you still play songs about Jesus? Number one, because that music isn't for me. It's more so for those who are Christians. Meaning, this is a spiritual station that respects all religions. Well, most religions, because you know there's some other cult craziness out there we don't know about. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean the ones within the belt of the Great Arcanum.
Right.
Okay. I also have a gospel segment to pay homage to our ancestors again, because Christianity was the blanket that they hid many of our African culture customs under. Right. Or so the legend speaks. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And honestly, there are some gospel songs I like because they bring about the spirit of humility. Mm-hmm. Gospel music is very humbling. And the world needs some of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just that you're going to play with people. And you got to feel it, and if you feel it and it's real, then other people will feel it too. One of the things I'll say is gospel, my understanding, it means good news. So, it does. Again, the gospel can be in many forms and formations, many variants, and I think that once we open our mind and tap into that frequency at which you're striving to give us and enlighten us to, we'll expand our understanding of what gospel means, and we'll be able to hear the message that's meant for us to receive and understand in the music. Yes. So that if you're playing, Johnny McClurkin, I reached out to him today. We had a conversation. And I was just complimenting him on how phenomenal he is, how he's allowed the universal spirit to use him. And some might not like that, some might have an issue with that, but I respect that he has used his vehicle to be a vessel. Get up, get on up. And at the same time, James Brown was moving with that gospel. When he said, get on up, get on the scene, we might not look at that as gospel because we've been conditioned that only gospel's in the church. But one of the things that I found is that 2 or 3 gathered together in the name and the spirit. That's church. You know what I'm saying? So when James Brown was doing some of the things he was doing, not everything, but when he was tapping into that universal spirit, and people have told me because they went to his time church.
Yeah, James Brown put on concerts in war zones
all the time, even after Dr. King was killed in Boston. So it's about documenting all going through it. But what I will say is that, when we tap into really understanding music and giving not only the theory of it, the history of it, expressing how it differs from the histrionic, but giving the soul and the spirit to it, then people are going to hear that music and I'm like, wow, that's what I needed to hear. Or how this song spoke to me. I wouldn't imagine that this song knew my life like this, or I could relate to things like this. But because music is universal, that's why they call it the universal language. Once we tap into that frequency, it can be a song that we would normally perceive as non-gospel, and it'll be speaking the good news to us in a way in which will move us to be bigger, better, brighter than we've ever been. So I think that, don't be worried about being worried. Focus on the mission. And as a wise teacher told me about 30, 40 minutes ago, just do it. You know what I mean? So I think that the music will speak for itself. And those that it speaks to will be able to use it in a way in which we make them more powerful, more profound, and more prolific. And all we have to do is hear it. That's why they're controlling the radio wave the way that they're doing. So they don't get us to realize that you can hear the gospel in Nipsey Hussle. You can hear the gospel in numerous other artists like Bob Dylan. You can hear the gospel in Johnny McClurkin. You can hear the gospel when you tap into the good news and the good frequency that the good news brings. And I think that's what you're going to do because you've been doing it, and I've seen it. I've had an opportunity to listen to your program that was on KPFT and just check out what you did at TV. So you've always been impressed with good news, and I think that will continue on.
Ashe. So do you have a favorite genre of music?
Again, I don't look at it like a genre of music, you know what I mean?
I guess I do because, I've worked in radio for so long, so we had to. You know what I mean?
This is the distinction. African music is African.
Yes.
So that's the genre, if you want a genre. but there are formats. Like you have stations that are format. You play a top 40 format.
Oh, yeah.
You play a hip hop format. I dig that. I'm not saying that I'm not aware of that, but I'm aware of it. But in terms of listening to music from my own personal preference or engagement, you might see some Miles Davis, and I might throw in some Lil Uzi. You know what I mean? I've never really been able to put together good mixes. That's why my DJ career didn't take off of that like that, because I'm looking not for the RPM, I'm not looking for the genre, I'm looking for the feel and the vibe and the messages that are being displayed and conveyed in the song. So for me, it just all depends on what time it is, what's really going on in that time, and that lets me know what to move with. But I guess, I'm coming from, the SIP and my people coming from Mississippi and things like that. The blues has always been a part and parcel of my experience. And I think that if you really want to be honest, outside of jazz, the American music is the blues. Even today, R&B, rhythm and blues. And most hip hop songs that definitely get played on the radio are nothing but the blues. You know what I'm saying? So I think that our music is an amalgamation of our experience. And our experience is so vast and broad and not monolithic, but it is polyolithic because it's so expansive. So I'm not myopic and say I like this the most, or I can find it in all of it, and I try my best to embrace all of it in the most honest and appreciative way.
You make a very good point about the different genres and how they really all mesh together. It's just a type of tempo or a certain style of instrument that supposedly differentiates one from the other. So I can actually see your point in that.
Now, there are some musicians that got, degrees and stuff like that. They can break it down more scientifically. But I'm a novice, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, listening with the amateur ear. And I strive to listen to those things that resonate with me, like how much love is in the music. How much soul is in the music.
Oh, yes.
How much spirit is in the music. Those things, resonate with me to get me to tap into the artist and the art form. So it might not be a part of the syncopation or, any of the technical terms that they use, the half note and all that.
But see, that's the reason why I chose so much throwback and old school music. Because there were real people behind those instruments. And one of the main things I would say is the worst thing that happened to music was the computer. When there stopped being real people behind the instruments, I mean, with loops it can kind of work because there's still a person behind the instrument, but it's not the same as the Funk Brothers and Smokey Robinson in the pit cooking and fusing that sound together. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And so,
things evolve. Things have to evolve. Things have to evolve. Like you said at the beginning, we all evolve.
They do, but I don't know if I agree with you on that one. I mean, think about a hip hop song that jams. Okay, yeah, it jams. But then you get somewhere and you hear all those brothers playing that drum in unison. There is no comparison. No comparison.
But again, that wasn't because of the evolution of music. That was the design, because again, if you have instrumentation, if you have individuals who have to play with instruments, there's a level of skill that comes into that. There's a level of dedication. And there's an augmentation that says, I got to practice, and now I have to put in the practicum necessary to be able to do this. I can't just sit down at a computer and punch a button. And I don't want to disparage the users who are successful because it takes that same level of consistency, persistence, sacrifice, and due diligence to your craft. But there's a different level when it comes to being in a live and young band. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause not only do you have to be great at what you do, you also have to be great at working with others who do what they do as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So being in an ensemble requires a lot more teamwork and
That's
compromise.
why I like jazz ensembles. Will you ever go to like live jazz?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yes. And how they just, and it's interesting because they didn't rehearse that.
Yeah.
They just vibe off of each other. And it's
They got rehearsals here though. Don't think the boys the Charlie Parkers of the world, the guys are great. They just a lot of improvisation.
No. I'm talking about like locally. Like there'll be a group of people that come in and they play together, and then another person with an instrument come in, and then he gets on and meshes in. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I was talking more about the live jazz nights here around the city.
Right. Absolutely.
When I was talking about the not rehearsing with each other. And some musicians do and some musicians don't rehearse. I've actually spoken with musicians that are like certain people I play with, I don't have to rehearse because I've been playing with them for so long.
Right, I've been playing with them so long. I know what they do. Joe Sample was one, in my time at QQQ, because that's primarily a jazz station. I mean, they'll do a little, kids camp, stuff like that, but primarily jazz station. And, he would always say how the greats would just come in on the drop of the dime and just do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Kurt Whalen was an opportunity.
I love Kurt Whalen.
I mean, these brothers, they live and breathe it. You know what I mean? You don't have to, give them any crap. You don't have to just tell them where to be and how long the set is, and they're going to blow your socks off. You know what I'm saying? Because they live it in public. And I think that's the beautiful thing is going back to you're doing this is you. This is what you do. We've had numerous conversations about it. So I know that when you give that kind of commitment to something, when you're willing to practice and sacrifice, because this is sacrifice. You know what I mean? It's tough enough to do on the show, but to do a station, so that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So when you put that kind of work and that kind of effort and equity in something, it just hits different. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that your station is going to be something that people listen to and it sticks with them. Nowadays you get inundated with so much, right? In one ear and out the other. But those things that hit that heartbeat,
that sticks.
You know what I'm saying? It sticks, and I think that's what this is going to do. I really want you to let people know again, how they can tap into it, why they need to tap into it, and let's get moving.
Yes, the 222.9 The Mothership it has 9 different portals. I just realized that tonight. There's that 9 again. www.poeticallymuse.org. It's running across the ticker on the bottom of the screen /Mothership. You can punch 222.9 The Mothership into your Google Play Store.
Awesome.
And it'll come right up so you can download the app and just have it there on your phone. Push the button, tap in, you're there. And I have 8 blogs that each have a player on them so you can listen as you read. And those are on my websites. I don't want to announce too much about the blogs yet because that's a separate opening. So I don't want to give away too much right now. Because moment of fashion. Goodness, my ancestors just have me telling all of my business tonight. The Mothership is just the beginning. Let's just say I'm just getting warmed up.
Wow. You know what?
And I'll leave that where it is.
I believe that.
I'll leave that where it is. I'm just getting warmed up.
Definitely. Well, I know if you get warmed up, the rest of us will warm up too. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely feel like you're going to make me feel you in a good way. Because we've been cold for the last couple of days. We need that heat, and definitely I think the things that will happen will help us grow and hopefully put Mother Nature on the course to the right track.
Yes, because it's important for all of us to send out positive vibrations again. Because it's going to take all of us as a people and as humanity to one way or the other. We got to get this thing together. Collectively, all the way across the board. And nobody's saying that we got to be kumbaya and all of that. But we have to at least be able to coexist with each other and have an alignment with the heavens and the earth. You know? And we're not being left much of a choice right now. That's the funny thing. We're still acting like we got a choice. No, she's not asking anymore.
Right.
The Most High, Olodumare, God, Allah, whatever name you wish to call the absolute, it's not asking anymore. We either evolve or go extinct. And I'm doing my part to evolve and help others evolve as well.
Right. Definitely. And I couldn't say any better, so I'm not going to try. I'm just happy that we have opportunities come together tonight. And I know that
I want to lighten the mood a little bit. I forgot to list one other reason that that I did this station.
Why?
Because, you know, it's going to take some time for people to start really getting used to being out of their homes without feeling like they're under stay-at-home orders and things like that. And even if it wasn't, everyone's home should be their sanctuary. So I wanted to play something that people don't have to keep messing with the dial on, and they can, you know, make their homes their sanctuaries. Because when I hear good music that stimulates my soul, it makes me want to do happy things like, you know, cleanse and do push-ups, do yoga. You know, good vibrational music puts you in a good vibrational space to do good vibrational things.
Right.
You know? Music made me like washing dishes. You know? Music makes us like washing our cars. Got you on that one. I saw your face. Music makes you like cleaning your home. Music makes everything more enjoyable. Music makes life more enjoyable. So anything I can do to stimulate someone else's positive vibration, I want it there for them.
That's dope.
And it is.
That's dope. Any final thoughts? Anything that you want to share? Want to let us know?
Well, no. I think I've said everything that's on my heart and spirit. You get to watch it grow, like I said. I want to thank everyone for coming. Forgive all the uhs, because I'm normally not this informal when I'm in other interviews. But because this is something I created, I'm at a loss for words. I want to say thank you to the spiritual powers that be. I want to encourage everyone to align spiritually and do what's on your heart. So maybe one day I can tune into you being nervous and flustered because you've seen something manifest. I want to see this for you and whatever path it is. And you get to watch the station grow. So I will be releasing the link in about another 30 minutes to my Facebook page, the link to my website, and the link to my Google app. And please, by all means, spread the word. Bear with me because right now I'm a one-person production studio, but hey, I'm going to do it. So, can we do the toast? Did you bring your glass?
Wow. You know what? Got my glass.
Bottle water.
I got my.
Okay, so now that we're towards the end, everybody just take a quick second and go grab something to drink. We're going to do a quick toast. Now, whatever is in your cup is your business. But please, by all means. In the meantime, I usually drink water, but can't help myself. This is a cherry wine, and it's a black-owned winemaker. This is a wine by Mr. and Mrs. Milton Woods, Milton and Diane Woods. And Milton's grandmother taught him how to make fruit wine. And that's what this is. And this is my artwork on the label. Awesome. The label is my artwork.
Wow. Salute you. I'm going to put my water bottle in.
And so the label features my artwork. And it was such an honor yet once again to pay homage to an ancestor who passed down some knowledge to their living descendant. That's the reason why I can hold and toast this black-owned wine to 16 years come full circle.
No, I'm going to act like I'm
I'll let you do the honors or however you want to do the toast.
Okay, great. This is a beautiful moment. And anytime you have a beautiful moment, you want to celebrate. And what better way than to celebrate than to have cherry wine that you helped design. And I got some water that's entitled
Water and Wine.
That's right, water and wine. You got it. You got it. Turning water to wine. And it's eternal. It's eternal. You know what I'm saying? So, however it works, we know it's going to work. And it's going to work eternally. And it's going to turn simple things into even more beautiful things that are yet to come. So let us toast to success, to the best, and even greater blessings in the future, and even here and now. Ashe.
Ashe.
Man, I need that one right there. I'm telling you. That was good.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Definitely. It's been a beautiful experience, and we look forward to having even more of the mothership, if you will. 222.9,
The Mothership.
Man, for real. You know what I mean?
Beam up.
Yeah, beam up. And it's so funny because one of my favorite songs, got me thinking about this is from Parliament. And we came to Houston in 1976. I wasn't here, but they came to Houston, so I heard it on YouTube. And one of the songs that blew the roof off, I think they went to Astrodome in Coliseum. They played a song called The Mothership. And one of the brothers that was the lead singer, I'm going to have to put it to you, check it out.
Okay.
He said, "We're beaming down in the mothership. Y'all better get ready." So, I think that this is just the next part of that. You know what I mean?
Yes, beam down. Now it's time to beam back up.
25 years later, we're beaming down from the mothership. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to get that ticket and get listening to this wonderful music that will help elevate us, grow us, and love on us for years to come.
Ashe. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. This is a privilege, pleasure, and a lot of good energy. I look forward to some more beautiful opportunities to showcase your greatness. And I really appreciate everybody for tapping in and tuning in. And let's just keep turning out like bright, right? Right? Hey, we done left the crossroad and we ride.
Y'all done went from the crossroad to the mothership.
I'm telling you.
Gonna walk down the road and got zapped.
I'm telling you, we done went from the crossroad to the mothership and we don't get to the promised land. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I have love for you. And, you keep shining your light bright. It's a phenomenality, magnificence. And you are found. Ashe, peace and blessings. Take care.
Take care. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Keep an eye on all Poetically Mused social media, because that's where I will be posting the announcements. That's where you will be kept abreast. That's where you will be let know of random changes and any type of scheduling or anything like that. Again, I'm at a loss for words. I just want to say thank you again to the ancestors. I want to say thank you to my elders. I want to say thank you to all that have guided my journey. I didn't give a special thank you to KTSU's Donna Franklin, so I'd like to take the moment to say thank you to her for the moment of, we had a period of time where I've learned some things from her when it comes to radio. I'd also like to say thank you to Judon Boney. I've learned some things from him when it came to radio. I would also like to give a special kinkamanche to Oluwotolokun, to Oloye Efuntola, to Iyanifa Shangolade, to Ifawole, to Ogundiran. Thank you very much, and the mothership is officially beamed up. I'll be posting the link shortly. Good night.